Hello everybody, welcome to Just a Pass, and today we're going to learn about resultant force. And what is resultant force actually? Resultant force is just the net force acting on an object. And what do I mean by that? Now let's say we have an object right here, and this object is connected to a string here and a string to the left. And towards the right, there is one person pulling the string here, and towards the left there's another person pulling the string here. Now what's gonna happen if, let's name this person 1 and person 2. Now let's say person 1 is pulling it towards the left, person 2 is pulling it towards the right. Resultant force actually just says, in the most basic terms, who will win, because if person 2 is stronger, the object is gonna move towards the right, but if person 1 is stronger, the object is going to move towards the left. Now, in terms of physics, and more specifically your syllabus, you will see that they'll give you an object in the middle right here, and they will give two forces. One force here, and another force to the left. And let's say the force to the right is about 10 Newton, and the force to the left is 5 Newton. Now, in order to determine which side will the object go to, right or left, you just have to look at the bigger force. Since the right one is more bigger than the left one, hence the object will move towards the right. Whereas if let's say we have the same diagram, but here it's 5 Newton and towards the left it's 10 Newton, that means the object is going to go towards the left. Another example could be if the object is being pulled upwards and is being pulled downwards, and it shows here is 10 Newton and here is 5 Newton. Now, looking at the diagram, we can see that the upward force, which is 10 Newton, is much higher than the bottom force, which means the object is going to move up. Now, basically what resultant force is the stronger force will dictate the movement of the object. Always remember that. Now that we have covered what resultant force actually is, the next step that we can do is to find the resultant force acting on a body. So let's say we have the object right here, and the object has a force going to the right, the object has a force going to the left. The force to the right is 10 Newton, the force to the left is 8 Newton. And they will ask you to find the resultant force. Now what you have to do basically is to remember that the resultant force is the net force acting on an object. Now what is the net force? There's a few rule of thumb that you have to know when we are handling with forces. One of it is that if you set a direction as positive, for instance the right direction, here you set this as positive, automatically the opposite direction becomes the negative. In another case, if let's say we have up and down, the up direction becomes positive, the down direction becomes negative. And this direction is not set. Basically, it's entirely up to you. If you feel like you want to put the left side as positive and the right side as negative, just make sure that your answer is consistent. And what do I mean by that? Now let's look at the answer for this example right here. 10 and 8. So we put that 10 Newton plus, remember the left side, everything on the left side is a negative. So here minus 8. And just do some basic mathematics, we'll find out that the resultant force is 2 Newton. 2 Newton positive, meaning that it will go towards the right side. So mathematically it shows that it goes to the right. Logically you know that 10 Newton is more than 8 Newton, so it will go to the right as well. Another example could be the up and down example. Let's say the upward force is about 20 Newton and the downward force is 25 Newton. Looking at it, if they ask you to find the resultant force, what do? You start from the top, you go 20 Newton plus minus because it's the opposite direction, 25 Newton. Now what you will get here is you will get a minus 5 Newton. Now minus 5 Newton does not mean that the force somehow is in a negative value. The minus indicates the direction. Hence, when we look here, the upwards is the positive, the going downwards is negative. Now if it says minus 5, that means it's going downwards at a force of 5 Newton. And logically, if you look at it, 20 Newton is not as high as 25 Newton. 25 Newton is much stronger, hence it will pull the object downwards. If you found that introduction helpful, please subscribe to the channel. I will be uploading more content in the coming weeks. We'll go deeper into forces and motion. And if you have any questions, please comment down below. Until then, talk to you real soon.